Hey everyone, it's Brian and Mike here from Summit Racing. In today's episode of Summit Racing Engine Building 101, we're going to show you the proper way to install cam bearings in a Gen 3 or 4 LS engine or the Gen 5 LT engine.
Today we're going to install in our Project 408 LS a set of Cleveite cam bearings using our Summit cam bearing installation tool.
And with that, make sure you like and share, and we're going to go ahead and show you the part numbers for the cam bearing knocker and the bearings in the comments below. Thank you for watching.
We've just got back from washing this block. We've scrubbed it all out and cleaned it up. We're ready to install cam bearings in it now. Some things to understand: there was two Gen 3 blocks, 97 to 03, 03 and a half, and 04 to about 19. We weren't sure what we had since we dug this block out of the returns bin. So one thing you'll notice, the cam housing boards on the early blocks had a 2-3-26, 1 and 5 dimension, and the later ones they opened that up to 2-3-46. We weren't sure what we had, so we took our handy dial calipers here and measured the cam housing bore, and that comes out 2-3-5-5. So we know we've got a the late Gen 3 block, which we suspected we did. This is our Summit cam bearing driver for LS. It's specifically sized for the LS cam journal bearing size. And when you get your box of cam bearings, usually inside there will be a guide or a code that says what position, what bearing goes where, because they're not all the same. So in this case, we have an SH 1995A goes in position 1 and 5. It's hard to see on a camera, but this has the SH 1995A number stamped in it. These two go in position 1 and 5. This is SH 2124. These two go in position 2 and 4 in the block. And then this SH 2125 actually goes in the number 3 position. So you want to make sure you keep those in the correct order while you're installing your cam bearings, because the cam won't spin very freely, and it'll usually lead to a problem of a spun cam bearing, low oil pressure or something along those lines. So keep that in mind when you're driving your cam bearings in.
What we're going to be doing when we're looking at installing cam bearings is making sure we have the right oil hole orientation. There's a single oil hole going into the cam bearing bore off the galley. It's located at approximately 4 o'clock. As we have the block laid over here, it's basically at high noon, roughly 12 o'clock here. What you'll notice is you want to get oil to the bearing. It has to get inside there. So why does a Cleveite or a Durabond bearing have 2 holes in it? We expect that it's something like a fixturing thing from the factory. Whatever machine that they use to put them in requires the use of 2 holes for alignment, but in our case, it's really important that we have at least one. One thing that we're going to do is, after we install the cam bearing, is we want to make sure that we have a clear channel for the oil to go through. That can be achieved with a couple of things. You can either use something like this, kind of hooked. You can use a like an Allen wrench, for instance, that has that hook. You just want to make sure that when you slide that in there, that yes, you have some form of alignment. You can also use pressurized air, in the galley itself too. So there's a couple of ways to do it, but we're going to go ahead and get started with Mike.
I'm just putting a little bit of our Cleveite assembly lube on the outside of the bearing, and just makes it press and slide in a little easier there when we're putting them in. Basically, we've got our driver aligned with the front bearing. I'm going to hold this cone firmly in the rear bearing and start driving. Ready?
Go for it.
Fell out. How are we looking?
Looking good.
Tell me where I'm at, bro.
Couple more. Keep coming. I think you're good. Let's take a look and see if that's centered from the front to back. That hole is square in the middle with that galley.
That's position number 1.
One more. One more. Make it one big one. All right, I think we're good. Let's check that out.
we're getting ready to put number 3 in there. Your bearing just goes in. You can line it up like this. Run her in, Brian. This is our Summit LS dedicated cam bearing tool. It's a pretty nice tool, much nicer than the expandable jobs that are out there. Rotate that a little bit, right there. Okay, let me know when we're getting close.
Yep, keep going. Probably about 4 more. Keep going. Okay, let's back out and see how close we are.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Pretty good, pretty good. Let's say it. Make sure we got some alignment there, which we do. All right, we're good to go with number 3.
Okay, folks, we've got our front 3 bearings in. We've gone ahead and reversed the direction of the block. With these tools, the straighter you can keep the bar, or the longer and further out from where you're working, the straighter the bearing will be. Should help keep the camshaft spinning smoother in the block. This has a removable end on it, so you can take that end off. Got a lot of threads there. Install it in the block. Carefully go through. Okay. Watch this. All right, Brian, center me up down there. Help me, driver.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and grab our tool, see if we have alignment. And yes, we do. We're in good shape there with that one.
Where's number 4? You got it
Number
over there?
4 is over here. It's already lubed up. Back it out just a little bit more and I'll get that bearing in there. Okay, and then let me go ahead and get that somewhat aligned here. Keep going. All right, let's check that out. All right, I'm liking it. Let's see if we have our alignment. We're all good to go.
So we're going to take this mandrel off the end of this driver. Voila, 5 cam bearings installed. We're going to grab our camshaft, clean it up, slide it in, and make sure everything spins smooth.
So what you've seen here is we've taken the engine block off the table, put it back on the engine stand. We verified that it had, the oil holes were, aligned. It's going to get oil to it. The next step is let's make sure that everything is in there right, that the bearings aren't cocked, that the cam goes in smooth and doesn't have any tight spots. Some people will have a tool to do that. Just for a cam installation tool in a pinch. If you don't have that with an LS cam, you can use a 1/2-inch drive extension. And what Mike is doing now is loading up that cam with some cam lube after carefully cleaning the cam. Always want to clean a cam because even though it looks pretty out of the box, there's machining, there's dust, everything inside, so you got to clean that thing in and out with engine brushes.
Which we've done.
Which we've done.
Let's see. We'll take our Summit Pro LS camshaft.
Carefully slide it through. So far, like a glove.
Beat them all up.
And Mike is supporting the front of the cam with his fingers as they go through every cam bearing. So far, so good. No tight spots. Nice.
Nice and smooth, nice and free.
We'll give it a nice full
Lines.
360. Yeah.
can't get any torque on that pin, so it feels very nice.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with that.
Some of those will go in a lot harder than that, and people have to do some pretty terrible stuff. But what you're seeing here is the results of using the proper tool to do a job. Again, we had the Summit LS specific installer, so it just made everything perfectly fit to size. Alignment is great.
Be sure to subscribe for more tech, how-to, and install videos. And thanks for watching.